On today's Taste Texas, it's all about mushrooms, even mushrooms for the mushroom haters. Chef Garth has 3 mouth-watering recipes, and we're taking a visit to Kitchen Pride mushrooms to see how these beauties are grown.
So they start to double in size every 24 hours.
So pull up a chair and join us at the table. Texas. I'm Amy Kushner.
And I'm Garth Blackburn.
We're so glad y'all are here today. We enjoy having an in-studio audience as well as our viewers at home. Thanks for joining us. Today is all about mushrooms. How many of you love mushrooms? Raise of hands. Nice. Now how many, be honest, won't hurt our feelings, how many do not like mushrooms?
Not going to admit it on television.
Actually, the ones who raise their hands are our crew, and so there's no food for you after today.
And they don't care. Well, y'all are in luck because today is a mushroom day for mushroom haters. So if you like mushrooms, we're going to take it over the top. And if you don't like mushrooms, you're going to find a few ways to really turn them around and make them something a little bit more enjoyable than the texture problem that I think so many people have with it. So we'll figure out a couple solutions for how to avoid it.
I'm excited. So what are you putting together today?
Well, the first one is, what is my favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza, right? What's my favorite single ingredient? Comes from a pig.
Oh, bacon.
Bacon.
Duh, I knew that.
I love bacon, and bacon pizza is the best possible thing you can have. I think there's a richness to bacon that is indescribable, and we're going to talk a little bit today about something called umami. Mentioned on the show before, it's about this richness and this flavor. Well, what shares that flavor component with bacon are mushrooms. So why don't you pop off a few of these stems. These are shiitake mushrooms. This is from our visit to Kitchen Pride, which was such a great trip. You guys will see a little bit more about that in a few minutes.
That one's not popping off. There we go.
We're going to try and pop as much of the stem off as possible. If there's a little bit still there, this is not terribly woody. If you're going to cut a lot at once, you can just stack them.
Okay.
And I'm going to slice them as thin as I can. So I can press them down a little bit, and I want them really thin. Okay, we'll put those in there. What I'm going to have you do...
I like the outside being like a little bit darker brown.
Some coloring.
Yeah.
Why don't you put about a tablespoon of olive oil in there, and that's some Texas olive oil.
All right. Don't try this at home.
Might take y'all a little bit longer at home. We just expedited that process. Okay, a little bit of salt and pepper. Now, when mushrooms cook, they shrink a lot.
Right.
So if you salted this right now and it tasted like the right salt level, it's going to be, especially for you, not a huge salt fan, it'll be inedible. So we want to go a little bit light on the salt. If you'll toss that for me.
You got a utensil?
Okay, wow, that's the first time you haven't just...
All right, fine, forget it. It's trying to be prim and proper at the top of the show, but forget it. Okay.
First for everything.
Just don't get it on my shirt, please. I'm trying to keep that clean, being that it is white. All right, there you go.
Okay, lay these out. You'll spread them out for me, so I don't want to get my fingers dirty.
Of course not. All right.
Okay, we want to spread them out because if they're sitting on top of each other, now that thin slice, you've lost it. You've doubled the thickness. And that's going to go in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes, and it's going to caramelize so much that it gets crunchy just like bacon.
Really?
And the flavor profile, I think you'll be amazed with. So this is kind of the bacon for vegetarians.
Flavor profile. New word, folks. Flavor profile. Nice.
In other words, tastes like bacon.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to get ready for the polenta. So the second thing we're going to do, so that's going to be our shiitake bacon. We're going to do some stuffed cremini mushrooms, which I think a lot of times people aren't crazy about mushrooms, aren't really liking them stuffed because they're kind of juicy. The polenta is going to bring it all together. And a lot of times I'll put mushrooms in my polenta, but today we're going to put polenta in my mushrooms. All right?
Sounds perfect to me. Perfect sense.
Pour about half of that in.
In this skillet. Okay.
And this is milking. You can use milk, half and half, or heavy cream. milking, we're huge fans of as well. Amy got to milk some cows out there.
It's your chicken broth, not chicken stock. Don't y'all like that tip? I do.
Okay, so I'm just gonna mince up this garlic. We're taking this liquid mixture up to heat.
All right.
And I'm gonna add some salt, some pepper, and a little bit of hot sauce. And that's gonna infuse the flavor, and that's what's going to get absorbed into our delicious polenta.
Infused flavor profile. I'm thinking it's gonna be really tasty today. Y'all stay with us. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. If you like mushrooms or you don't like mushrooms, these recipes are for you. Garth's got some bacon in the oven. Nope, mushrooms in the oven, and you're putting bacon in the oven.
Mushrooms in the oven, it tastes like bacon, but at the end of the day, nothing tastes more like bacon than bacon. So I'm also gonna do some bacon to go with the mushrooms.
Bacon to go with the bacon. It makes perfect sense, right? Awesome. All right, so we recently took a trip to a town called Gonzales, Texas, where Kitchen Pride is actually located. Kitchen Pride is a sponsor of Taste Texas. It was amazing. We loved this trip. We loved the journey, and we love learning about mushrooms. Y'all take a look.
Kitchen Pride was started in 1988. My grandfather, Daryl McLean, and his two sons, Greg and Phil, they had all kind of worked in the mushroom industry across the country for a while, and decided to come down to Texas and start a farm here. A lot of people ask, well, what do you plant to get mushrooms? It's not, you don't have seeds.
Right.
So what is it?
Well, it's a spore. So if you take like a portobello, and you run your finger along the inside of the gill, you get that like fine brown dust on there. That's like millions and millions of spores. So that's like
That's the seed.
Yeah. They're not like plants. They don't go through photosynthesis. They actually take everything they need from the compost. That's why it's so important to get the compost right. So those little mycelium start to knit together and form little baby mushrooms. And then once it hits about the size of like a little bit smaller than a pencil eraser, they start to like double in size every 24 hours. So once
it happens, it's on.
Yeah, it's time to get in there and get it picked as quickly as possible. You good?
They'll never notice.
They'll never notice, right? Okay. There we go.
Do you distribute all over the United States?
No, we're just in Texas. We love Texas, and we pretty much stay inside of Texas.
So almost 250,000 pounds of mushrooms a week just in the state of Texas. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Other than it saying Kitchen Pride, let's say you're stuck in a grocery store that doesn't have Kitchen Pride. What are you looking for?
Well, you're looking for a firm cap. You want it to be not too mushy. You want it to be bright white.
Which, aside from yours, I don't see that, how white even those creminis are. Yeah. Y'all definitely have the purest looking mushrooms.
Well, we try to keep them as clean as possible. Don't touch them as much as possible, and try to just...
Interesting mushrooms. I didn't even know the variety existed.
Rows and rows that went on for dozens of feet. It was incredible. And they didn't need to be a sponsor of the show. I was a huge fan of theirs before. I know you were too.
Right.
They have absolutely the cleanest, I'm gonna pop that open, the cleanest mushrooms I've ever seen. So
I know, it's crazy.
People talk about, do you need to wash your mushrooms? We talked, and there's a lot of debate about that. Really, unless there's dirt on the outside of the mushroom, you don't need to, but it's not gonna make it soggy. This mushroom's pretty dense.
Yeah.
If you just wash it, it's not gonna all of a sudden absorb and get soggy. So this is what we're going to put the polenta in once we make the polenta.
Okay.
But we're talking about a little educational experience on mushrooms. Why do we take the stems out? I think there were some questions about that. I'm gonna let you kind of answer that. So bite into that and,
okay.
Right.
Because you can't eat it. That's
they
why.
are incredibly.
Yeah, there you go.
No, thanks.
I'm out. Do you got any floss? Anyone? Floss?
They're incredibly, to use a word that's not really a word, but I use it often, fibrous-y. There's so much fiber in it, you just can't break it down.
Yeah.
Even if you cook it, it's gonna be eating like tree bark. So that's why we pop the stems off, especially on shiitakes. If you have white button mushrooms, you don't necessarily have to because it's a tender stem.
I'm still wondering why you gave me that task.
Well, you just do such a good job of showing the texture profile.
Let's move on to this
mushrooms.
polenta.
All right, so this is quick cooking polenta. Will you stir that for me?
Yeah.
This is quick cooking polenta, which means it really just takes about 2 to 3 minutes to start to thicken up. As you can tell how carefully I measured, it's very forgiving. If it's too thin, I'm just gonna add a little bit more polenta to it after about 1.5 minutes. And if it gets too thick, we'll just add a little bit more of that chicken broth back to it, and that'll thin it out some.
Nice. And we've also got that cream in there, so it's really getting nice and thick.
And as it continues to thicken up, we're going to add a few things to it. I've got a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And remember, we had the garlic in there, and we had some of the hot sauce in there. This is an aged Gouda. It's like the Gouda of Parmesan, real nutty.
It's the god of Gouda.
It is the god of Gouda Parmesan.
Gorgeous.
All right, and then last but not least, if this were summertime, we'd be putting in some delicious Texas corn, maybe grill it up. This time of year, you've got to go with frozen instead. It's really sweet and adds another level of taste and texture to it. So we'll just put that corn in. And now we'll turn down the heat.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be amazing.
Finished product that's going to start building up together.
Oh my gosh, it's getting good. Y'all stay with us. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Chef, moving on to the shrooms, and you're making something interesting with these buns over here.
Yeah, what you got working right there?
Well, show everybody what you've done, and then I'll show what my idea is.
I like really good craft-made rolls and slider buns if we're going to make sliders, but they're sometimes hard to find. So you can just get a regular size
Kaiser roll or
Kaiser roll.
something?
This is topped with Asiago cheese. Just take a little cookie ring cutter, and we'll just press that in, push it the rest of the way through. And now what I had proposed is that you can just tear this into pieces and save it for like a savory strata. Mix it with some custard, some spinach, some goat cheese, and it's great for brunch, and you can freeze this until you're ready to make it. But you had other ideas.
Well, I'm thinking like arm candy. Let's just go ahead and slide these on. And then when you get hungry during the day, just, take a little nibble. I mean, no carbs should go to waste, ever. So
what happened to that whole paleo thing?
I got off of that like after day 2. That didn't last long over here.
That did not.
So anyway, we'll hold these for a while. This polenta looks amazing.
It's ready to roll, so you're going to start stuffing
I'm going to actually have to take off the arm candy for just
well
a second. Hold, please.
in the kitchen, does it?
We'll get to that later. This is going to be delicious. All right.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to pull both of my bacons out.
Oh, wow.
Look how small those got.
That is incredible.
So we took a whole bunch of cremini mushrooms and they shrunk down.
They really taste like bacon.
They're crunchy, delicious, hot.
Don't put things in,
375 degrees. Now,
don't put things in your mouth out of the oven that are 400 degrees.
I don't think it compares quite to this, but it's real close. So this is our cooked bacon. It doesn't have that
crazy.
So that's that umami. That's this development of all these flavors.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing a lot of that. So why don't you start stuffing these mushrooms?
Okay. I need another spoon because this one I already used. I sampled your polenta already.
Clearly
it was delicious.
Early in the taping that it stopped you from using your same dirty spoon, like normal. Okay, so while you're stuffing that, I'm going to cut some of these pieces of bacon.
Do you mind if I overstuff? I mean, I have this love with mushrooms that are really overstuffed.
No problem.
All right, cool.
So we'll top each one with a little medallion of real bacon.
Oh, wow.
We're just gonna be serving that shiitake bacon on the side. It's a great kind of bar snack, watching television, hanging out, pretty healthy as it's just olive oil, salt, and pepper, but it develops this real richness. I keep mentioning umami. This is kind of like an umami bomb when it comes to our little slider because aged cheeses like the Asiago is real rich in this development of flavor. That's one. The second is red meat. So we're gonna be making some Heart brand beef sliders. So Heart brand is actually better for you. In fact, cholesterol-wise, and this is a Texas-based company, cholesterol-wise, it's about the same amount of cholesterol as white meat chicken. So I'm a big fan. You guys can order that online.
There we go. Stuffed mushrooms.
And you get to make hamburgers.
Where are these gonna go?
That's going back in the oven.
Okay, got it.
So why don't
So
you
now we're
start
on to
making some
hamburgers.
sliders for me?
Okay.
There we go. It's
Nice.
great having a sous chef out here too.
Happy to oblige. Okay.
We'll put these back in the oven for about 5 minutes so that that cheese gets melted, it gets caramelized, the mushrooms cook through.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna get ready for the rest of the whole umami flavor. Okay. I guess that's in the shape of a slider, close to it.
You're not liking that? What did you want?
Something like circular. Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Circular, in my opinion.
Okay, so we're gonna get ready with some. Okay, good. We're gonna get ready with some delicious Texas cheese. This is from Paula Lambert at the Mozzarella Company in Deep Ellum here in Dallas, and it's a smoked mozzarella that's been smoked with Texas pecans.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Wow, you got their attention. Say that again.
It's been smoked with Texas pecans.
It's like magic.
I'm gonna have to work that into all of my presentations.
What can I say that'll make them do that? They just
I'm sure
laugh
you'll
at
say
me.
something. This is really rich in umami also, so smoked things, red meats, mushrooms, aged cheeses, and even spinach are all big sources of umami, and we're gonna put all of those onto a hamburger. And then to top that, we're gonna go with some of the Amelia's Farm tomatoes.
Yum.
And I'm gonna slice these and I'm gonna sprinkle them with a little bit of green tea leaves. And green tea, same theme, also has a lot of umami flavor. So we're just gonna create this bite that has just this full development of flavor, and you'll never notice when we put a little thin slice of portobello mushroom that you're also getting some shrooms in there, even if you don't like them. So we're gonna put this all together, get ready to go to break, and we'll see what the finished product looks like.
It is gonna be delicious. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, we're in the Sub-Zero Wolf Prep Kitchen where we bring those ingredients to life, and today's ingredients are gonna be a Tex-Mex theme for a little Tex-Mex stir-fried hanger steak that we're gonna serve on some delicious rice. So let's go get started. If you can't find hanger steak, you could substitute a strip steak, a flank steak, or even sirloin would work great as well. We'll put a little bit of high temp oil such as grapeseed. Preheat the pan so the steak doesn't stick to it. We're gonna get some nice golden browning before I add my vegetables. We're gonna caramelize those, add a little bit of liquid to it, and before you know it, we're gonna have an awesome Tex-Mex stir fry. Okay, I've got some nice browning on the meat. Now I'm gonna take my vegetables, got a little bit of sweet pepper, some sweet onion, and some Texas jalapenos we cut into strips. I'm gonna toss those around, get a little bit of caramelization there as well. Okay, before I add my liquid ingredients, I wanna put my spices in because they'll get a little bit toasted with this dry heat and sizzle. It'll bring out the flavor of this cumin, smoked paprika, and a little bit of chili powder. Okay, it's starting to look delicious, got a lot of browning. Now I'm gonna add my liquid ingredients, which is gonna be a little beef stock. That's gonna deglaze the pan, which means just take off all those yummy bits from the bottom of the pan. This is a little adobo sauce that you can get. It's packed in with chipotles in the Latin food section of your grocery store. A little bit of lime juice. And I want to thicken it up just like a stir fry. So to do so, I don't want to add my cornstarch right to the pan or it's going to make the sauce lumpy, just like your gravy for Thanksgiving, let's say. So instead, I'm going to take about 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and put it into some beef stock I had pulled to the side, and we're going to whisk that in. This is called a slurry. Okay, now that that's smooth, I'm going to dump it into the sauce. Return it to a boil, and that's gonna make the sauce nice and thick. Now we're gonna garnish this with some fresh cilantro from Little Bear from our trip down to the valley. I'm gonna put some crispy tortilla strips, or you could just use regular chips. a little bit of cotija cheese, which is a Mexican cheese, or you could substitute feta instead. And then some fresh Marfa tomatoes around for a little bit of garnish. And that's our finished dish. Y'all enjoy.
To plate the burgers and the stuffed mushrooms up. I can't even tell you how amazing this griddle is smelling right now. I wish you could get your face in here and just take a big whiff because it's awesome.
Good
All right,
stuff.
let's build these.
Okay, let's take the smoked mozzarella. Start putting that on. Let it get melted.
That's your cue.
Oh, it's because I didn't mention over the pecan
Wow.
shells. This is mozzarella that's been smoked over Texas pecans. That was what was missing.
It's almost like a choir. It's like on cue. Y'all go to church, don't you?
I fully intend to have them travel around with me everywhere. Every time I talk, I love it. Okay, these are the tops of the portobello. So will you flip those?
Yes.
They got really shrunken. We eliminated the moisture. You're kind of seeing this theme. So people that don't like mushrooms, it's usually a texture thing. We're changing that texture, either by turning it into bacon, getting them caramelized to go on that umami burger, or just going with the real deal and having it be just juicy all the way through.
Oh, amazing.
With that polenta.
Gorgeous.
So what we're also going to add is some of that spinach.
Just throw a little green on the burger.
No produce.
Okay.
And what's going to happen, whatever falls off of here is fine, because when you go to plate up the burger, you're just going to scrape up some of that spinach.
You're right. But you missed the patty, so I'm going to help you out.
That's fine. We're going to get it wilted some anyway. All right. Time for you to start plating up. Grab your spatula, start putting these on here.
Okay, hold on. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Okay, meanwhile, I've got the green tea leaves I'm going to put on my Amelia's Farm tomatoes. I'm going to add one more hit of umami-ness, which I don't know if that's a word or not. It probably isn't.
It is now. You just made it up.
But what's this here sauce is going to doctor it up. Some soy sauce. A little bit of Meyer lemon juice from our trip down to the valley.
Oh my goodness. All right. One more thing, right? Oh my gosh, look at that. That is gorgeous.
I cannot wait to see you do the taste test.
So, well, I better tell everybody before I stuff my mouth that you can get all these recipes on our website, tastetexastv.com. Let's see, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of our social media, we're there as well with the same handle. That's tastetexastv.com. All right, the time has come. I am not letting this show end without one giant big mouth bite. Right? Right.